job. And coming from a different background, I'll be working with professionals from different, with high experience or anything. Is that going to be a challenge for me? Or would there be any kind of assistance that I will find myself a mentor or something like that? And some things to ask on the job description side. So how technical this job is going to be, and what are the learning opportunities that I have in terms of this job? Some other questions. Yeah.
We'll stop there. So I'm gonna say, so I literally would give you, like, before that question, like 100. I mean, he absolutely nailed this interview. I've done so many of these interviews. I am telling you, his ability to weave between the technical and the behavioral and the personal and the out of work and the in the classroom and maintain the energy, the posture, the professionalism. I want this guy on my team. And you probably all felt that, right? His eye contact, the way he looked at both of us, it's tough when there's two people. I intentionally wanted both of us to be here. It's harder because you have to spread your love, right? You have to spread your attention, your eye contact, your acknowledgement. Even if Addie asked a question, he can't look at Addie for 10 minutes. I'm like crying over here inside. I'm like, please look at me, okay? I need a little bit of feedback here, you know. So he did a really good job managing all of that. Okay, it's phenomenal. Now, that being said, I think his answer on, do you have any questions for me, can be tightened up, okay? And let me tell you what, okay? I just told you how he came across as a picture of strength and knowledge and confidence and professionalism. Everybody agree? Yeah. Okay. And I literally think, I'm going to have this as a suggestion, I would love to actually record something like that. I really would, because I would love this to have an afterlife so that other students can get a benefit of this type of thing too. I really do. So we'll talk more about that, okay? But the reason I'm a little concerned about the answer on questions for me is you sold me on your technical ability, your ability to work in teams, your personality. You sold me on everything. And 2 of the 3 questions really took, what training am I getting, and will I be able to hold myself up against people who are more experienced? So suddenly I get like this little red flag that says, geez, maybe he's not as confident as I thought. So I think part of this is how you position and spin it, okay? I think good questions as follow-ups and that type of thing. You never want to ask anything obvious, like what were your revenues last year, or are you making money, or nothing like that, okay? It's always fair game to ask somebody about their background. Now, granted, you should have researched it anyway, but let's say he knows Addie worked at Deloitte, we both worked at Deloitte. I'm just interested, what was your experience at Deloitte like, and how has that helped you in this investment bank, right? When you think of people you've hired over the last 5 years, what are the characteristics they bring to the table that really have made them successful? So again, what you're doing is you're putting success in that person's mind. Already you're thinking about being successful in the role. So you're asking for feedback on, what is it going to take to really hit the ground running? Do you suggest anything that I can do to ensure that I do hit the ground running, that my first 90 days really is helpful? Is there anything I've said in this interview that you're concerned about that I can work on before hopefully I get offered a position with your firm? You see what I mean? So it's a different way to do it, but you're positioning yourself as you want to be part of that firm. You are open to feedback. You really want to learn from them, okay? It's also a fair question, and I kind of took this away from him by laying out the context up front. A lot of times they won't be that candid. So at the end, if you feel like it's a good interview, you can say, can I just get some sense on what your hiring process is? Where are you in this? When can I expect to know if I'm proceeding? That type of thing. Just, that's a fair, again, what does that do? It reiterates his strong interest in the position, right? And he's also asking a very fair question. If it's a 4-month process, or you're going to know by the end of next week, that has implications for him, okay? So does that make sense, just in terms of those types of questions? You just don't want to create uncertainty, okay, with that on, what is the training, or, because again, they might think, well, geez, I thought he was going to hit the ground running. Even it's a fair question, I mean, you just don't want to ask it, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Yes?